That's cool.
What's up, guys? It is Sunday, October 6, 2024. Second half of today's podcast, the MMAOB Daily Podcast. We're going to preview UFC Vegas 98, Royval versus Taira. If you missed it, we just did the recap for UFC 307. It was fun. Wasn't the best card, but I almost got more entertained by doing the recap with you, Marcel, and all the people in the chat. So that was a lot of fun. Marcel, we got a pretty solid fight night here with 13 fights, UFC Vegas 98. I don't want to waste any time, guys. I just want to jump into it because we did go a little bit long in the first podcast. Let me get to a couple comments first, and then we'll jump into it. We got True in the chat, as always. Our buddy True. Appreciate you, man, as always. Taira is good. We'll talk about him in a few minutes. And Chris is surprised about the odds. So we'll talk about the odds for that fight as well. Marcel, I always ask you this. What's your overall thoughts on this fight night card?
It's an okay card, It's a typical Apex card, I feel like, It's okay. It's nothing like high-end stuff or fancy, I think, but it's a pretty decent card. Looking forward to it, man.
Yeah. All right. I agree with you. I mean, I think it's okay. There's some pretty good fights. There's some fights that are kind of like, I could see the loser being cut kind of fights, but there's some good fights. All right, let's get into it, guys.
And even Joe's sister is on it, so good for him.
Oh yeah, Joe, your big sister or your wife. It's his wife, dude. Come on, it's his wife. No, okay, she's married.
Yeah.
Surprised she hasn't changed her last name yet. Actually, now that I think about it.
No, let's.
Hopefully that guy's last name's McKenna too. All right, let's go into the card, guys. We'll start with the first fight of the night. We're using UFCstats.com, which I believe does have the fully updated lineup. First fight of the night: Clayton Carpenter taking on Lucas Rocha at the flyweight division. Two prospects here. Fun fight. I like this fight a lot. Opening up the card. Odds for this one: Clayton Carpenter minus 192, Lucas Rocha plus 160. I'm gonna let you start on this one, dude. Go ahead.
No, man, you start. You like this fight, so you start.
I like the fight, but I don't know who's gonna win. Honestly, I really don't know. I think this is a hard fight to call. This fight can go either way. I don't really understand why Carpenter's, the odds are going up. I looked at Tapology just to see what fans were saying, and Rocha's favored at Tapology among the fans. That could flip by Saturday, obviously. I just feel like it can go either way. Like for me, Carpenter, I'm picking him because he's undefeated. Basically, that's the reason. I know it's a horrible reason, but he hasn't lost yet, so I don't know what his weaknesses really are. I haven't really seen too many. He seems like a pretty well-rounded guy with a really good ground game. Rocha had that nasty knockout on Contender last year. It was a year ago, so it's been a while. The other reason is Carpenter has the UFC experience, so that's another reason I'm picking him. But yeah, Rocha's got more experience overall. He has more fights overall. Carpenter is bigger. That's another reason I like him here. But again, it's a slight lean. I think he should be like minus 130. It should be like minus 130 plus 110. I'll pass on a bet, but yeah, Carpenter, I guess decision, maybe a sub. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know, guys. I don't have a great read in this fight. I'd rather just watch this fight and learn about these guys. But yeah, Rocha had a nice knockout last year, and he's exciting. We'll see what happens. But he did get taken down 5 times in that fight, and that's kind of why I would lean towards Carpenter, who's more of a grappler. So Carpenter is for my pick. What do you think?
Remember the confusing when Clayton Carpenter goes in a room with the Carpenter Guida, you know what I mean? But at least we know John Jones will come out as victorious, if we have to believe Dana White. Yeah, close fight, man. Difficult one to pick. That's why I let you go first. And that's why you wanted to let me go first. I kind of feel the same way, man. I mean, as for me, it's kind of a pick 'em. I think Carpenter will win probably a fight by decision. But this is a fight I will never put any money on because it's really difficult.
It's one of those volatile type fights. I honestly can go either way. Again, Carpenter has some edges, with the experience in the UFC.
That's what she said.
With the height advantage and the reach advantage and probably the ground game advantage. That's why I'm picking him. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got Dan Argueta taking on Cody Haddon. This is a fun little fight in the bantamweight division, and the odds for this one have. I think it opened as a pick 'em, by the way, but Haddon's the favorite now, minus 185. Argueta plus 154. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Cody he hasn't made his debut yet in the UFC. This is it. He has, only 8 fights, but man, he looked so good in Contender that, yeah, Argueta is like a decent, gatekeeper type, but yeah, I can't pick him here, dude. Dan's really struggled in the UFC for the most part. And he's had some of these no contests, which, he probably should have won that Ronnie Lawrence one, which sucks that happened, but, he struggled for the most part, man. He's kind of like gatekeeper, but he is pretty durable for the most part. I know he got finished his last fight by sub, which Haddon could do here. I just like Haddon as a prospect. I liked what I saw. It's just, again, this is kind of a step up on who he's been fighting for sure. At the same time, though, Marcel, what I saw in the Contender was beyond impressive. So I'm picking Haddon. I guess I'll take him by stoppage. It seems like he does that most of the time, so I'll take him here. I do think he wins. I think the money's come on the right fighter here to win the fight. What do you think?
Yeah, man, it's a fun fight. I think will be a fun fight on the ground for sure. I mean, Dan Argueta is always game,
Yeah.
He also did pretty well against Matsumoto in the first round, I remember, but Matsumoto turned it around and he finished him. Had like 2 no contests in a row, like you said, premature stoppage against Ronnie Honey. I always say Honey Lawrence because of Honey Marks, but it's Ronnie Lawrence.
Yeah.
And after that, the Miles Johnson, we actually lost, but Miles got caught for something or got how do you say that, suspended for something, and then it went to a no contest. Yep. Yeah, man, it's like and Cody Haddon was really like impressive in the Dana White Contender Series. I think one of the more impressive showings this season. I'm also on Haddon here. I think will be a fun fight. I'm going with decision. I think it will be a very technical ground battle for a long time.
Yeah.
Maybe even get finished. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut off, but by the way, I was going to answer this question. They're still doing the Apex shows.
January is still 2 Apex shows. So
yeah, they're not stopping. They love it. They love it. It's cheap for them to produce. All right, next fight here, heavyweights. Chris Barnett taking on Junior Tafa. And yeah, Chris Barnett opened as his massive favorite, which was really odd. The line got smashed. Now Tafa is a big favorite here. Junior. He's minus 360. Chris Barnett plus 285. Although by the time the fight comes around, who knows if they do a little switcheroo again, Marcel. Justin comes in instead. No, Huggy Bear hasn't fought in 2 years, right? I think. What do they call him? Beast Boy now. I like calling him Huggy Bear still, Marcel.
Me too.
Yeah. Listen, I love Chris. He's awesome. The win over John Vellante was probably one of my all-time favorite moments where he got the knockout and did that backflip. Like, it was amazing. It's like in my dreams I could do that.
It was a win for all the fat guys,
He's the most athletic fat guy ever. Like, he has to be.
Yes.
I mean, you gotta love the guy. He's a veteran. He's been around forever. He's 38 now though, and he hasn't fought in 2 years. I can't pick him, dude. There's no way. I mean, Junior obviously has been terrible in the UFC 1-3, but he's 10 years younger. He still packs a punch. He isn't fighting a guy who's going to grapple him. This is going to be in the feet. This is going to be a striking battle, and I have to go with the guy who is the younger fighter, who's the taller fighter, and who is probably a little bit less shot-worn. I'm going to Junior Tafa by knockout. Again, though, my betting minus 350 on Junior Tafa, no chance. I'll pass, but I think he wins the fight. What do you think?
Bro, if Barnett only had like 10% ground game, I would probably go for him, but I can't, man. I think Tafa probably finishes him, so I'm going also with Tafa.
There's no ground game at all.
Yeah.
By the way, you got Mike's MMA picks. Really appreciate
Mike?
that, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Mike's one of the content creators at MMAOB, and I think he has his own podcast now. But yeah, we appreciate you, Mike. Thank you so much, man. And I hope you're having a great weekend too with your family, my friend. All right, let's go to the next fight here, Marcel. We got Themba Gorimbo taking on Niko Price, welterweight bout. Odds for this one, Themba is a favorite here, minus 278, Niko plus 225. Yeah, I mean, I'm leaning towards Themba. I think he probably wins the fight, Marcel. I think he could probably use his wrestling. I'll give Niko some credit, though. Like, he looked a little better, I thought, against Morono, but it's just like, is that more of Morono was terrible that night, or is it Niko kind of having a resurgence? I'm leaning towards Morono just being on a decline. Because before that, man, he looked terrible, Niko Price. Themba's like on the way up. Niko's on the way down. I love Niko Price. He's awesome, but I can't pick him here, dude. I have to go Themba. I'm not like 100% confident by any means, but I do think like he could probably make it boring and just grind him out, get takedowns, wrestle him, and win his 4th straight fight. My pick will be Themba by decision. What do you think?
So I know Themba watches this, so hi Themba. Yeah, I mean, Themba last time gave me a DM after the Ramesh Brahimai fight, and he's like, "Your pick, I beat your boy." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Yeah, I saw the podcast. You said that he would have success with me getting takedowns, but you saw I was the better."
I'm picking you, Themba. I'm picking you, man.
So
I don't think the fight's gonna be exciting though. Don't hate on me. I just don't think stylistic it's the greatest fight here. But
Themba unfollowed me, by the way. So
oh my god, are you serious? No, that guy took it really personally.
On Instagram, that is, not on Twitter. But yeah, I mean, I'm picking Themba here, and it's not because you called me out last time, but I just think this is a good matchup. Niko's getting older. I think Niko had a good fight against Morono, surprisingly. Yeah. I didn't expect Niko to do so well against Morono, But I think Themba can mix in the grappling like he did against Ramis last time, and also his stand-up is pretty decent as well. I think Themba wins. Definitely, if it goes to decision, a clear decision. If not, maybe he gets even a finish. But I'm going with decision with Themba Gorimbo here. So I picked you this time, Themba, if you look, But yeah, I'm picking Themba.
There you go. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We have a pair of featherweights as JSP Jonathan Pearce takes on Pat Sabatini. JSP minus 130, Sabatini plus 110. I think it's a pretty competitive fight. This one, both guys are, they both had pretty good runs in the UFC, but have, kind of fallen off a little bit lately. Pat, losing to Diego Lopez, you can give him a little bit of a break there. I mean, there's no shame in that. And then JSP getting, he didn't get finished. He lost to Onama, and then he got finished by Britu. But had a great run before that. We know he's got relentless wrestling and pressure. The biggest problem for me with Pat is just that, he is a good grappler, but again, his takedown defense is pretty bad. And I feel like JSP can grind him out here. So I'm leaning towards JSP again. He's the bigger fighter. He's the younger fighter. He's got more experience in the UFC too. And I think eventually, he'll just grind him out. He has great cardio. I think Pat has a chance to submit him for sure. Pat's a great grappler too, and submission artist, but I think JSP can grind it out. So that's my pick. What do you think?
Yeah, man, I always liked Pat Sabatini, man. I wonder if it's related to the famous tennis player. But, yeah, I mean, but at the same time, if you look at Pearce, I think Pearce lost his last 2 fights, but he did pretty well against Brito, actually. But I don't know, Brito turned it around, and he got him in that ninja choke, After that, he lost that fight to Onama. Close fight. I got to go with Jonathan Pearce here. I think Pearce wins the decision, but I think it will be a close fight. But,
yeah. A lot of these fights, I honestly feel like, you could see a few dogs. I know we picked most of the favorites so far, but I think some of these dogs could potentially bark, and this is one of them. All right, let's go to the next fight here. And this fight is a pretty sizable favorite here. Ramazan Temirov, Marcel, making his debut in the UFC against CJ Vergara, and Ramazan minus 258, CJ plus 210. So I think he's the second or third biggest favorite in the card, I believe. Or sorry, actually fourth. There's a few other favorites that are on the main card, but yeah, I think that CJ, I don't think he should be fighting at flyweight anymore. He's missed weight 3 times. I was looking at it yesterday. 3 times. Why is he getting another chance? Tell me why.
I don't know.
Doesn't deserve it. If you miss 3 times, you're in the wrong weight class. I think he's going to miss again. I don't think he'll make weight for this fight, guys. So
the funny thing is also when he missed weight 3 times, it's also the 3 fights he lost in the UFC.
I think he's going to miss weight again and lose. So there you go. He's an okay fighter. I don't think CJ's a bad fighter. I think he's decent. He's got some power. He's decent grappling. Whatever. He's just okay. Defensive grappling, I should say. It's okay. The last fight, against Almobayev, he get taken down a lot, but he didn't get finished. So there's something said about that. I just think this Temirov guy is going to probably take him down. And outstrike him probably too. Maybe a decision. CJ's pretty tough. I'll give him that. He's pretty tough, hard to finish. But Temirov wins. I for sure. I think he just wins. What do you think?
I feel the same way, man. I think Temirov mixes in the takedowns, striking, but most of all the takedowns I think will be important here. Yeah. CJ struggles when you have a good grappler against him. Yeah, I'm going with Temirov. I don't know if he gets a finish. I think the only guy who finished him in the UFC is Taira. All the others went to a decision. I'm going with a decision win for Ramazan back to Temirov. There
you go. We got hype in the chat. Glad to have you here, my friend.
Man.
Yeah, he's been running through you guys for sure and rising. Let's go to the next fight here. Get your thoughts on this fight. Interesting fight. Welterweights, Chidi, Bang Bang, Njokuani, and Jared Gooden. Night train. Chidi's the favorite here, minus 185, plus 150 for Jared Gooden. I'll just start on this one. What do you think?
So there we go. We're picking Jared Gooden this fight. I think Chidi got a good win last time against Riz McKee, but he's getting up in age, I think. And Chidi really needs to have how do you say that? Depends on his stand-up, I feel like, and I think Jared Gooden is more complete if it comes to that. He has a better ground game, I feel like, and he can mix it in more. I wouldn't be surprised if he even submits Chidi here. I'm on Jared Gooden here. I'm taking the underdog in this fight.
Press the button for me too, dude. We have a consensus dog.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm taking Jared Gooden too. I think he's being undervalued here. I think he wins the fight. And like you said, I pretty much agree with everything you said. Chidi did have a better performance against Riz McKee, but it wasn't amazing and didn't get the finish. And again, I know he looked good on the scale and everything, but I still question this weight cut to 170 at this point in his career. I think his durability is going a little bit. He's been knocked out a couple times. He's just getting up there a little bit, and he's the same age as me, but I mean, it's just, again, he's been in the sport for like 15 years plus. He's been fighting forever. I have a lot of respect for the guy, but I just think he's seen his better days. I think he made his run to the top a few years ago and didn't go too well. Jared Gooden is an underrated fighter who doesn't have a great record in the UFC 2-4, but the last performance with Wellington German was in Beef Wellington, Marcel, your guy. Amazing performance, great submission, came out of nowhere. And we've seen him get knockout power, and he's durable. He's never been knocked out in the UFC. He's very hard to finish. I think he's been knocked out like once his whole career. I think Jared actually could knock Chidi out potentially, but I think you're right. Maybe he submits him. Maybe he gets into the ground and goes for a takedown. Maybe that's the way to win this fight. Maybe that's the easier path. Either way, I mean, I think this fight at plus 154, you're getting good odds on a dog that I think has multiple paths to win. I'm definitely taking Jared Gooden. I'm glad you are too. I wasn't sure what you think, but I'm going with Antoine's boy from Georgia, Jared Nitrate Gooden. So there we go. We have a consensus dog. Love it, Marcel. Love it. I wasn't sure what you think about that one, man, but always nice to get a consensus pick. All right. Opening up the main card, we have a 6-fight main card. We have Josh Fremd taking on Abdul Razak Alhassan. Abdul minus 162, Josh Fremd plus 136. I'm just going to start on this one. I'm taking Abdul Razak Alhassan. I think he knocks Josh Fremd out. I think Josh Fremd gets cut from the UFC after this. Josh Fremd has looked really bad the last couple fights. That last fight was such a bad look against Petrosky, just lying there on his back for 50 minutes. The fight with Kopylov got absolutely destroyed in the feet. The wins have not aged well over Pickett. I guess the Dumas win's okay. Like, it's a nice win, but otherwise, man, he's looked very poor in the UFC, in my opinion. And then Abdul Razak Alhassan, very inconsistent. I get that, but was well on his way to beating the shit out of Cody Brundage before that weird stoppage with the no contest. We know how he is. He's a knockout or bust kind of guy, but I do think he's looked better in the last couple of years. And you know what? That Buckley fight was very close. Now that I look back at it, Marcel, split decision to Buckley doesn't look as bad now. His striking's great. I think his grappling it's not great, but it's gotten a little bit better over the years, a little bit. I don't know. I don't really think Josh will wrestle. I mean, he's going to try. I just don't think he's going to have much success. Probably because I think Abdul knocks him out in the first round, where he's so explosive. What do you think?
The only thing we can hope is that the journalists during media, they bring up Buckley to Alhassan again. It's always it's like Buckley. It's always funny. I'm also on Alhassan here, man. As long as he doesn't do something stupid against like Cody Brundage, like really out of control, he will win the fight. I think. I'd also going with a knockout in the first round for Abdul Razak Alhassan. Judo Thunder.
No, I'm with you. I mean, and again, this is opening the main card, right? It's 6 fights, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the opener main card.
There you go. Okay, let's go to the next fight here. We have D-Rod, Daniel Rodriguez taking on Alex Morono, welterweight bout, 2 veterans here. This fight could be pretty fun, I think. Hopefully. We'll see. D-Rod minus 198, Morono plus 164. So part of me feels like Morono, is a good dog pick, but at the same time, he looked so bad against Niko Price that I can't pick him. I can't do it. Even though I think D-Rod is a good fade material, he's lost 3 straight. He hasn't looked very good. I think he's again, he's a guy that came to the UFC pretty late. He's 38 now. He's on the tail end of his career. But Morono just looked so horrible in the last fight that I cannot pick him right now confidently against someone that still has a pulse, and D-Rod definitely does. I mean, I would have picked him against Tim Means again if they rematch, for instance. You know what I mean? And I love Tim, but yeah, I mean, listen. Excuse me. Morono, if he had won the last fight, I probably would have picked him here, to be honest with you, but he didn't, and he looked bad. So I can't do it, man. I think D-Rod probably wins the decision. But again, I don't love these odds, really. I don't love this fight to bet on. I wouldn't be surprised if Morono did end up pulling it off like a split decision type, but I think D-Rod probably just out-volumes him and wins the decision. That's what I think. I think it goes 3 rounds. What do you think?
Yeah, you actually said exactly what I want to say, man. It's like if Morono won that fight against Price, I would be on him probably, but he looked that off in the fight, and I think Rodriguez knows he needs a win here to not possibly getting cut. I think he signed a new deal recently, but still, he has lost a lot of fights in a row, and actually his last win against Li Jingliang, a lot of people thought that he lost the fight, so he needs a win here. I think he goes for a going decision, D-Rod here in this one, so I'm with you.
Couple comments. What happens next with Kelvin? I don't know. I mean, he did win that fight, but he had that weight cut issue, and the fight was at a catch weight, if I'm not mistaken, so I don't know. D-Rod's technically better. I think striking's pretty good. Morono's a pretty good striker too. Morono's short notice. Yeah, that's fair to say. That is fair. I don't know. It was just such a weird, bad performance that I just don't trust him anymore, man. All right, let's go to the next fight here. We got Julia Psycho Polastri taking on Cory Poppins McKenna. Marcel, your favorite nickname in the sport, Poppins? Mary Poppins.
It's a good nickname, man. I actually guessed this one, right? I remember.
Yeah. Minus 142 for Julia, plus 120 for Cory. And if I'm not mistaken, Julia's short notice for...
Yeah, for Polyana Viana.
There we go. So I like Cory against Polyana Viana. And hit the button. Let's go with the dog pick here. Take Cory McKenna by decision as a dog. I think she can get takedowns on this girl, Polastri. The fight with Knudson, I know that on paper it's like she got the takedowns, but we saw the fight played out. Went on the ground. Knudson was a striker. And I know she has some grappling, but like she controlled her, on the ground. I think Cory, she had a really bad night, obviously against Jacqueline Amarin, but she's performed pretty well in the UFC, and we know she has good wrestling, good ground game, and she needs a win here. I think she gets back on track. I like her as a dog, man. I think the odds are weird in this fight. Like the short-nosed fighter, I don't think she'd be favored here in this fight. I'm taking McKenna. I think she grinds it out. I think she's a decent dog pick at plus 120. I think she should be favored. What do you think? So, oh my God, another consensus dog. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, man. I think I honestly think it will be a close fight. McKenna didn't look good in her last fight against Jacqueline Amarim. No. I don't favor, by the way.
Who does?
Sam Hughes. But yeah. And if you look at Julia Polastri, yeah, she lost to Knudson, although she did very, very well in the third round. She came probably almost back in the fight, but wasn't enough. I think it will be a close fight. I'm picking Cory McKenna. I think she wins at least 2 of the 3 rounds, but definitely goes to a decision, I think. Picking McKenna. She also needs to win here. So, yeah, picking her.
All right. Let's go to the next fight here. We have a lightweight bout between Grant Dawson and Rafa Garcia. Grant Dawson, minus 395. Rafa gifted Garcia, plus 310. You want to start or do you want me to start on this one?
Yeah, man, this is an easy fight for me to pick, in my opinion. I think Grant Dawson goes take him down and controls him. That's pretty much what I think. Listen, Rafa has got a chance to pretty much maybe finish him. If he can, how do you say that? Can stop the takedown. But we know what Grant does, man. And listen, man, Grant had one fuck up against Bobby Green, and everybody's writing him off now. He fought a very safe fight against Joe Selecki, got the win there. But also don't forget what he did to Damiris Magulov, man. That was super impressive. I'm not off the Grant Dawson train at all yet, I think he needs a couple of good wins still, but I think he wins against Rafa Garcia. So the decision Dawson for me here.
All right, hit the button. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Oh my God.
I know. So I've really thought about this fight. It's not like I'm just coming here and taking a guess. I think Garcia can win this fight, guys. I really do. I think he can win the fight. The reason I like him here is because he is a very good grappler himself, very good wrestler with very good takedown defense. It's hard to get him down and hold him down. No one's really been able to do it. Ricard Close took him down a couple times. Natan Levy did too, but for the most part, popped back up. He's the guy getting the takedowns in the fights. I know Grant is a great grappler. He's training with a great team in the American Top Team. He's, for the most part, able to take these guys down. But I did a little bit, digging a little bit closer than some of the guys he's fought, and they get taken down, and they want to play on the ground with him. I think Rafa Garcia is just a very strong, stout guy. Keep the fight standing, dude. And on the feet, I really do think that he's the better striker in this fight. I don't think Grant's striking's good at all, actually. I think it's pretty bad. I think Rafa could catch him, but I also think he could just out-volume and win a decision, too. I think it's a close, gritty fight. Plus 300, I'm taking a shot at this guy. And again, this is not a popular pick. I'm going to get people in the comments saying, oh, this is a terrible pick. I get it. But I actually think he can win this fight. I think he's an underrated fighter. I've liked him for a while. And I think he can win a decision. So, or maybe a knockout, but I'm leaning decision. I know you mentioned the Bobby Green fight. What about the Ricky Glenn fight? I mean, that's a fight.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I think that, again, that was kind of like a weird style matchup. And I think this is too. I think the UFC gave Grant a hard style matchup in this fight. I really do. I don't think the UFC matchmakers are very high on him right now. And they gave him a guy with great takedown defense who's a pretty good boxer. And not that it matters, but I just wanted to take a look. Now, we know Grant Dawson trains at ATT, training with all the studs. I get it. But I went and took a look at Rafa's Instagram to see what he's up to. Training with Cub Swanson. And Rafa Garcia looks in phenomenal shape right now. He's a guy that's very strong, very durable, great wrestler, improving striking. I'm taking him here plus 300, guys. I know it's crazy. I'm taking a shot. I'm doing it. A couple comments. Is the winner of Dawson and Garcia do enough to get a ranked guy? Probably. I would think. Hype likes. There we go. Marcel Hype likes Garcia too. Crazy Papa likes Garcia. Tristan. Oh, you guys think I thought it was everything think I'm crazy. You guys like it too. So you're the crazy one, Marcel. No, I'm kidding. Listen, Dawson's going to be probably like. I looked at Tapology. He's 95%. So most.
You're not wrong. I'm definitely the crazy one, but you're not wrong.
No, you're not. Like he's 95%, but. There are occasional upsets in the UFC. It's not like it never happens, and we don't call these big ones that often. I was like, do I want to take a shot in him? But at plus 300, I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to do it. So let's do it. I'm taking a shot. Rafa Garcia. We'll see what happens next week.
Totally random question. Yeah. Totally random question. Why do you go pee? Are you sitting down or are you standing?
What are you talking about? What kind of question is that?
Just completely.
It's just for
fun. And me too.
What kind of dude sits down and pees? I mean, if I'm taking a poo and it comes out, sure, but no,
it's just a random question.
People do that. People stand up. Oh my god, I sit down and pee. I mean, that's crazy.
I think people do that actually. Yeah, I don't, but I only do when
Nope, no thanks. No, all right, let's go to the next fight here. Rebooking between Brad Tavares and Jung Park. I don't know what happened in the last fight. Like Park got like bad weight cut or something. Doctor didn't clear him. We don't really know what happened. It was never really made clear. Odds for this one, I think the same as last time. Park favored -175, Tavares +145. I think you picked Park too, right? We both did.
Man, I'm still gonna do it again. So.
Yeah, I'll take Park too. I mean, we already broke this fight down 2 months ago, but yeah, Park. I think by decision. Is that what you're thinking too?
Yeah, man. And if you want to see the breakdown, you fucks go check out the other podcast. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I'm taking a decision here.
The one thing I wanted to say, so I did a little bit of digging. I looked at Brad Tavares' record. So he's a good fighter. He's been around forever. He's good takedown defense, good striking, whatever. But
did it hurt?
Bro, Brad Tavares has been in the UFC since 2010, right? He has never won a bonus. Did you know that? He's never won a bonus. And I looked online. He has the most UFC fights of all time without winning a bonus. I'm pretty sure. At 24 fights with never winning a bonus. Like I looked, even Gleison Tebow has a bonus.
Yeah, Adam wants to give him a bonus now for knocking out Phil Baroni back in the day.
No, I mean, yeah, that was actually he got dropped by Phil Baroni, which is crazy in that fight. Yeah. But we've got our buddy Dan Levi in the chat. Thank you.
Hey, what's up, Dan?
Man. By the way, Dan, we both picked your boy Jerry Gooden. You're gonna love us, man. You're gonna love us. We both took Gooden as a dog, so there you go. No, but I like Tavares. I'm just saying it's kind of crazy. This is his 25th fight, never got a bonus. So he's just a meat and potatoes kind of guy, and I don't think it works in this one. We'll see. Only guys winning against is Weidman. Yeah. I know Park was supposed to fight Muniz, who had Muniz. Not sure. Oh, wait. Park did fight Muniz.
Yeah, split decision.
Yeah, he fought Muniz. Yeah, exactly.
Close fight.
All right, let's go to the next fight here, guys. This is the main event. We have Brandon Royval taking on Tatsuro Taira, and the odds for this one have Taira is a pretty big favorite here, -218. Royval +180. I really like Brandon Royval. I wouldn't completely count him out here. Obviously, he's a very talented fighter, and if he can keep it standing, he's probably got the better striking. I just think he gets taken down. 40% takedown defense is really bad. It's way below UFC standards. Taira's got a great ground game. Taira is undefeated. Taira's looking better and better every fight when he gets to the ground, especially. Again, if he keeps it standing, Royval's got a chance. But on the ground, I think Taira pretty much just – I don't know if I would say dominates him, but I think he just wins all the position battles. And I think he could submit him. I actually think he could submit Brandon Royval in this fight. This is the best fight he's had, or toughest fight he's had, I should say. And it's a great fight. It's the perfect fight for him. I think the winner probably could be deserving of a title shot, to be honest with you. But I'm leaning Taira, man, and I think he can get the submission. What do you think? Oh, dog pick. There we go.
There we go, dude. Yeah, man. Listen, I like Taira a lot. I think he's a phenomenal talent. Great fighter, undefeated. At the same time, if you look at the last fight against Pearce, man, I don't think he did very well. He was losing the first round. The second round, he got him down, and then he got that weird stoppage where he was like, I leaned on purpose that way, and then I got the injury. I don't know, man. I think he's a good fighter, but Brandon Royval, man, I like him a lot, I think definitely, how do you say that? I think Taira definitely can call him, can catch him with something on the ground, like you said, At the same time, I think I got to go Royval, man. He's more proven, in my opinion. I I like what I see with Royval. I think he's improving every fight. He had a very good fight with Pantoja. He lost the fight, but he had a good fight with Pantoja. Then he had a good fight with Morono. For me, he's a proven guy. He can lose the fight, but I'm going with Royval. Yeah, picking Royval by decision actually.
Yeah, so, respect. Yeah. I mean, I think he's a good fighter, but again, I do believe in Taira, so I'm taking him. All right,
I do too, actually, but
yeah, no, the odds are a little wide, but yeah. Blake weighs Taira. Who says Royval's sloppy? Tristan thinks Royval's got a chance. Yeah. What do you think Alex Perez will be back? You would know more than us.
I didn't specifically ask him, but I think in 2025, early 2025.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right, guys, let's go quickly to Dana White Contender Series preview, and really quick one here, Marcel. I don't want to spend too much time because we went an hour and a half in the last podcast, so let's go through this really quick, and I'll get your thoughts on these fights. We have 5 fights. All right, Marcel, give me your thoughts. Let's go through it. We got Artem Vakitov, excuse me, minus 620 against Islam Masraf. I'm assuming you're picking Artem.
It's such a weird fight because Artem is the former Glory champion. He beat Alex Pereira, for example. He's 2-1 in MMA. The Masraf fight is 3-0. He got that weird ass win in PFL with the French guy who was like standing in front of him and then he head kicked him.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to think about this fight. If you look at the odds, I think Vakitov is a massive favorite, plus minus 450 or something. But he's not proven in MMA, So I think the UFC wants him to win. He gets a chance here against a 3-0 French guy. I don't know, man. Vakitov probably gets the win. But, man, don't be fucking surprised if Masraf wins here. It's not like they're trying to make us think that we got a second Alex Pereira or whatever. But I don't think that's the case here.
Cody Steele minus 245 against Chasen Blair plus 185. What do you think?
Yeah, taking Cody Steele here, man. It's he was supposed to fight the Camelo Tony fight the last time. We pulled out due to anxiety. And Chasen Blair takes this fight on short notice pretty much. So Chasen Blair is a fun fighter. He fought the Cage Warriors. But Cody Steele, I think Cody Steele is the real deal. So I'm picking Cody here.
Mario Pinto minus 620. Lucas Camacho plus 400.
Yeah, Mario has fought a lot of fights in the Netherlands. He's the LFL champion, the LFL champion. He's a talent, He's fighting out of England. He's from he's Portuguese, fighting out of England.
Mm-hmm.
He's talented, but he also kind of sloppy sometimes. So if he doesn't finish it in the first or second round, he gets kind of sloppy. I saw him in 5-round fights. But he's a talent, and I think he can win the fight. The Brazilian guy I don't know too much of. I also think he's undefeated. But I believe in Pinto, man. I think Pinto would be a fun addition to the UFC roster in the heavyweight division.
Islam Dulatov minus 580 against Vanilto and Nunez plus 380. I butchered that name. Apologies.
Yeah, Antunes is decent, but I'm picking Dulatov, man. Dulatov was supposed to fight in the first episode, but that didn't happen. I think he was supposed to fight the guy who lost to Rami Hamed. What's his name again? Oh, the Chinese guy, the Ding Meng or Meng Ding.
God, that guy looks so bad. That guy, and he's lying about his age. There's no way that guy's like what, 28 or something. He's like 36.
Yeah.
But yeah. Sean Gautsy minus 195 against Anthony Drillich plus 150. Yeah.
2 Aussies, it will be. I think that will be probably a close fight. So yeah.
Cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Honestly, guys, I haven't had really a chance to look at these, so I appreciate you kind of breaking those down for you, Marcel. I have to go do the opening odds after this. Go ahead.
For the people who missed it, the last fight of the season in week 10 was supposed to be a Belgian guy, Alain van der Merkt, who was supposed to he is an undefeated guy, but he's out of the fight, and Wes Schultz is replacing him, the guy who lost to Abdul Mansour Abdul Malik. Van der Merkt, he signed with KSW instead. Yeah. Because he didn't get a visa, because he had he said it in public, so I can say it. From back in the day, he had some things on his record of drugs stuff. So yeah.
Understood. Thanks for telling us that. Couple comments here. Odds for Pantoja and Taira. I think Pantoja should be favored if they end up doing that fight. He's the champ. I know he's Taira's undefeated right now, but we'll see how this fight goes. I mean, if he goes in there and submits Royval in like a minute, maybe he will be favored. I don't know. Antoine, appreciate it too. You know what, Antoine, by the way, I just checked. The Steelers-Cowboys game starting at 9:45 because they got rain delayed. So I thought we were going to miss the game, so I'm actually going to be able to watch that football game, which is awesome. Nice. Tristan likes the Dulatov guy. Antoine says Pinto 6'5", 26-year-old heavyweight. Interesting. He's Portuguese, Marcel?
Yeah, he's training out of England, but he's Portuguese. Yeah.
Thanks for telling me that. Appreciate it. All right. Anything else you want to say, or are we good to get out of here? Is there anything else you want to?
No, guys. I thank. Of course, we thank you for watching the podcast, man. And we'll be back next week. It will be either Sunday or Monday. We'll see, and we will talk about the recap of the UFC Vegas 98 card. We will also do a little recap of Week 9 of the Contender Series, and we will do a preview of UFC Vegas 99 and a little preview about the last episode of the Contender Series this season.
I think we could do Sunday probably, so I'll just give you that right now. Most likely Sunday. Yes. Larry, by the way, appreciate that, man. Thank you, Antoine. Appreciate you guys joining us. We had, again, two podcasts as always. Did the recap for UFC 307. If you missed it, we talked about Prayer and Khalil Roundtree, and then we did the UFC Vegas 98 preview. And again, we had 2 consensus dogs. We had Jared Gooden and Cory McKenna. Marcel also took Brandon Royval, and I went crazy and went nuclear on the world and took Rafa Garcia plus 300. So we got 3 dogs each. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. Have a great week. We'll talk to you guys soon. Take care, everyone. Peace.